You asked, and now we have updates to our mini-series on how to build an 8-figure media empire. It's been 2 years since our director of marketing, Greg, put out his multi-episode series on how to build an 8-figure media-based empire based on how we did this at Empire Flippers and what we've seen those successful in our space doing. And he talked about the foundation that an 8-figure media empire is built from. So in summary, your core content-based business will need to expand to multiple revenue and traffic sources over time. Now, the concept is evergreen, it's just math. But how you accomplish this in your niche, in your current market environment with your accessible tools, those do change over time. The tactics, the technology, or the strategies used to piece together an 8-figure media business are constantly changing. That's natural. And boy, have the last 2 years seen some changes. Changes that we've actually applied to our business, ones that you've probably seen business owners applying to theirs, and ones that you should consider applying to your own, but not without being mindful about it. So instead of just giving you blanket statements like you should leverage AI for all of your business things and fire everyone, including yourself, I'm going to try to cut through all the internet noise and communicate what we've seen actually work and where we can see certain info being misleading or a bit unclear, so that hopefully you can take away something that could actually work for you. So here are a few tactics worth considering for your 8-figure media empire. First is the rise of micro content. So micro content is officially defined as written copy, imagery, or video content that can be consumed in 10 to 30 seconds or less. So I'll first mention TikTok because I feel like this is the app that made everyone else truly follow suit when it came to testing the baseline on how much we can shorten people's attention spans. And TikTok videos are low commitment to click on, and they can easily amass millions of views, which if those millions of views lead to a meaningful action for your business, that can be truly game-changing. Take Kevin Espiritu, for instance. He's behind epicgardening.com, a site that's smashing the 8-figure mark, and one of his game changers has been clever short-form posts packed full of gardening tips. And on the same track, there's YouTube Shorts. Now, this is slightly different from TikTok because YouTube Shorts and YouTube long-form content are on the same platform. Some business owners are using YouTube Shorts to determine if a topic is clickable enough to warrant long-form content, or on the flip side, some businesses create longer-form content and cut up segments from that and repurpose it as short-form content. So I'm in this YouTube mastermind group called Playstack, which, by the way, I totally recommend for fellow YouTubers who are looking to grow their channel. And we've been chatting about how success with shorts, or for this matter, any short-form content, doesn't always mean a win for your main content or even your business. In some cases, you may need to produce standalone YouTube Shorts or TikTok Shorts, not necessarily from repurposed long-form content, but as standalone pieces that are optimized specifically for driving short-form clicks, but making that content relevant enough to your other content or product offerings so that your short-form audience will more likely head over to another part of your funnel where they might actually convert to being a subscriber and eventually a customer. But if social media isn't your thing, there are still other ways to apply the concept of short form in your business. While the marketing world's talking about 10 to 30 second clips, there are other takeaways from this, some of which you can potentially apply to your own products. Let's say you're thinking of writing a book, for example. You might be pressuring yourself to create a super lengthy novel, but think about this. Many readers actually prefer shorter, focused books that dive right into a specific topic. And that's really a win-win for you because it's quicker to produce that book. And if you've got a bunch of topics in mind, why not create separate books for each as opposed to one long book? And that way you can also launch smaller products as they finish instead of waiting a much longer period of time before you sell one large thing. And if books aren't your thing, you could also go with white papers, templates. There are lots of other digital downloads that you can consider. So I encourage you to look at what types of assets could be suitable for your niche and specific business for both driving traffic and revenue. And if you're thinking, how are you going to manage all of this? Then think about integrating AI into your operations. Yes, I know, another video talking about AI. Well, I wouldn't be able to talk about the tactics that have come up over the last year without actually addressing AI's role in building media-centric businesses. But instead of just saying you should be using AI because it's all just so mind-blowing, my advice is this. Understand that there are specific AI tools and combinations of tools that are better for some types of businesses than others. So it'll be on you to determine which tools would actually suit your business operations and which ones aren't really ideal to force into your operation. For example, let's say you own a content site or a portfolio of sites, blogs. You might look at ChatGPT or you might look at ZimWriter, as they can be great for brainstorming or drafting SEO-minded content. But a word of caution, don't rely on these tools to create finished, unedited pieces. In doing so, you could very well hurt your organic ranking or even face bans on some platforms. And other alternatives for other AI tools on the voice front, there's 11 Labs. For AI-driven video, there's InMotion. If you need to speed up video editing, Descript is a tool I've actually used a lot for this purpose. And for editing and repurposing, I've heard people talk a lot about Opus.ai. Now, these are tools especially suitable for content sites leveraging social media and video, but with a bit of research, you'll very likely find tools that are tailored to your business and your workflow. So instead of feeling like you need to be using all the AI tools, I'd recommend taking a look at your existing operations and then looking at the specific tools that work best for that operation and for your specific type of business. You actually might be surprised at how niche some of these tools can get. Next, I know we've talked about email marketing in previous 8-figure media episodes, but we've got to talk about email newsletters. So we've talked about the power of email lists and marketing and how they can be really the backbone of a solid 8-figure business. I'd say the current evolution of email right now is the modern email newsletter, which are basically your email lists jazzed up with entertaining or insightful content. And these have really turned into gold mines in the recent years. Believe it or not, a well-crafted newsletter in itself can be valued at 7 or even 8 figures on its own. But an email newsletter does take time and resources to build, so if you're deciding on whether it's worth it for you or not, here are a few reasons why businesses do consider implementing newsletters. First, if you want to spike content views shortly after publishing it, you can email your subscribers about new content, driving early traffic to that content. The second point is that an email newsletter in itself can become a product and therefore another revenue stream if you're in a niche where it makes sense to put out a paid newsletter, where people, for example, can access exclusive information. And I've seen this for things like financial newsletters where that information is directly tied to subscribers making money. I've seen people put out paid newsletters and then decide to just revert to free because it just didn't make sense for their niche. So if you're wondering if a paid newsletter could actually work for you, I'd recommend looking at other competitors, other companies in your space to see if people are actually putting out paid newsletters in your space. And that leads to the third point. Even if your email newsletter isn't paid, it doesn't mean that it can't be a revenue source for you. An email newsletter can provide you with a platform for sponsorships and selling other products you own. But the trick to making email newsletters work is really balancing value with those subtle promotions. No one wants a constant sales pitch. And Greg touched on this in previous episodes of the 8-Figure Media Empire series, that diversifying revenue and traffic sources is key for this level or this size of business. And an email newsletter can really serve as a double-edged blade for both revenue and traffic. And doing this right will not only make your business more profitable and more defensible for you as a business owner, but also a more attractive acquisition in the future should you decide that you want to sell your business, and hopefully for that 8-figure valuation. We do have our own free newsletter called This Week in M&A, which updates you on major events happening in the online business space that could impact your own online business, which you're welcome to sign up for under the YouTube video description below. And is passive income real or is it a myth? From the businesses that I've seen on our marketplace, the answer is both yes and no. But watch this video if you want to learn how to be more on the yes side. So that's all for now. See you next time.